Welcome back to Coach's Corner as we talk Ponca City High School tennis. The spring sports season is here. Ponca City boys tennis coach Brad Larimer joins us. And Brad, how many years for you now as our head tennis coach?
Oh my gosh. Boys-wise, this is probably
You're supposed to know these things.
8 or 9.
Hey, you're supposed to know these things. But with
Before
you and
that, girls.
with you and your dad, you've probably got at least 30 to 40 years of coaching in at Ponca City High School.
Yeah, I've taken 2 different avenues. I've taught. This is my 30th year, and 21 have been here.
Right.
So. And of course, I've coached tennis all the years I've been here.
Yeah, you went over to Blackwell for a while. You were there.
Yeah, I was there about 6 years back
right.
in the early 90s.
Right.
And then, of course, I went to Newkirk there for about 3 years to see what I could do with the boys' basketball program. And so...
You've settled into Ponca City.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it was never an issue. It was kind of something I wanted to try to do, something that you have on your little agenda. Sometimes try to build something, and that's what I tried to do. And made my way back and missed tennis.
Right.
The 3 years I was up there because they didn't have a program.
Right.
And, coming back after that was nice, and we've done a pretty good job since.
Well, asking guys like Brad, years and places, it isn't good because there's not many years or places you haven't been or years you haven't seen, and coaching a lot of different sports. That's just the nature of the business, and I know you've coached a lot of different sports, but you said you always fall back to tennis, so I guess tennis may be your favorite to coach then.
Well, I love to coach tennis. It's kind of it's different in the fact that it's not as on court like basketball. Of course, I've coached basketball for years and years and years, and you have 5 individuals that have to be doing the same thing, and they got to be doing what you're asking them to do, and you're in the middle of the game talking and whatever the whole time almost. And in tennis, sometimes it's almost a little more laid back, as you're still going to talk to them a little bit, but it's more of an individual, or at least doubles. There's only 2 of them, and you still have to learn to play together. But for me, it's different because it's not quite the intensity of basketball of in the moment, I guess. Instructing. So and it's fun. I have to say that I liked a little bit part of the laid back, and I think the kids that we've had in the past, I mean, I've got to where, sorry, I got a little head cold and I might get lost.
You're
a little
fine,
bit
you're
here.
fine.
But the kids do a great job of practicing and doing what we need to do for the match. So,
okay. Well, could you talk about your team a little bit this year? And I know we had a great team last year. How are we looking this season?
Well, we have Daniel back, Langston, who won the number 2 singles last year, state championship, which that was the first state champ we've had since '75. And he's back for 2 more years, and he'll play number 1 singles, which Blake played for us, his brother, the last 4 years. And Daniel's got a great shot at winning 1 singles this year. He played a kid. We played a tournament Saturday in Jinx, and this used kid from Jinx is improved, and he really was good on Saturday. And they had a match, and Daniel won 6-4, 7-6, and it was a great battle. And those may have been 2 of the best ones in 6A this year. And if Daniel works and plays as hard as he did Saturday, he's got a great shot at winning it again. So I think that my number 1 doubles team is pretty solid. I've got Josh Spires and Malik Talib playing in that spot. They played 2 doubles last year. And of course, I lost the twins. They were seniors last year, Stempke boys. And I think that Malik and Josh will come along and do fine. They've gotten a lot better. And they keep working at it, and they know what they're going to play, and every day they come out and they work. And, of course, we've had off-season tennis for the last couple of years, and so, some of my kids do other sports and some of them don't, but the ones who don't, I mean, they can play all year now, which makes it great for us because, some of these kids that aren't spectacular, can hit a ball all year if that's all they do, and it's made our team better. Which I would never advocate not playing another sport.
Sure.
But those kids that don't play another sport, they got an opportunity to hit a lot of tennis balls, and I think that's going to help our other two spots in the fact that I think we've lost some of our talent a little bit. We're not going to be quite as good at two singles and two doubles, but I think we can be with those kids playing. At Jinx, I used Bradley Robinson and Taylor Hall, sophomore and freshman at two doubles, and I used Andrew Neeson at two singles. Andrew's a senior who's only played 2 years. And Andrew works hard, he's quick, keep the ball in play. And the other two guys have been with me since, 8th grade, and they work real hard. So, those are the guys that played Saturday, whether they stay there or not. I've got, 12 kids out, and all of them are doing pretty good. So if I replace them, that means that they've developed a little bit more. So who knows?
Tennis in Oklahoma is good, Brad, as you well know, and the type of competition you guys play, you don't avoid anybody. You see the top players. So,
right.
When you talk about a state champion, I can't even imagine the tremendous effort and devotion it takes just to be at the top, much less to win the whole thing. So again, some of these kids, if they haven't had as much experience, you probably have to go in and consider that too, because they're playing good people every time they walk on the court.
Yes, absolutely. It's like Daniel. Daniel's a state champion, but Daniel plays all summer long. He plays in tournaments that are in Missouri Valley that, aren't just in Oklahoma City or Tulsa. He's playing in St. Louis. He's playing in Iowa. He's playing Kansas City. I mean, he's going to places and playing in national tournaments. In fact, this couple of weeks ago, he went to Ohio to play. So he's ranked nationally. He's not just ranked, locally or Missouri Valley. So, I mean, it takes that to get to that point, too. And like what you're talking about, he's got the dedication to go out and do those things. And, the number one doubles team, they actually, it's a 16-team bracket over at Jinx, and not only do we have some of the top 6A, some of these tournaments aren't just 6A, they're 6A, 5A, 4A, and they got the best teams of all of them. And I'm not so sure that some of the 5A teams aren't the best this year with the Heritage Halls and the Cash Halls and the Metro. Some of these private schools are really tough. And, our kids upset a Jinx team first round in number one doubles. Well, it's like you were saying before, it's pretty deep because who do they play the next 3 rounds? Edmond Memorial, Edmond North, and Jinx. So, if you're playing those 4 teams in a tournament, you're playing. So, because they're always the top 4 or 5 teams in 6A.
That's just survival, isn't it, Coach?
Absolutely. So, and we were winning one match, and, like I say, we beat Union. We were ahead of Edmond North and lost. Edmond Memorial's pretty tough, and I'm not so sure that they can't win it this year and take that from Edmond North, who's won it the last 3 or 4. And then, of course, Union's always got kids. So
who knows?
We're going to go compete. I know that.
Well, you were talking about we're recording our show on Monday, but on Tuesday of this week you were saying there's a big event here, and
yes.
A lot of the best tennis players in the state will be featured.
Yes, we got a home tournament tomorrow. We'll have Jinx here. We'll have Edmond Memorial, Edmond Santa Fe, Choctaw. I don't know who I'm forgetting, but there's others. And then we actually have 3 varsity tournaments during the course of the year, and I know later on in the year we'll have Broken Arrows and the Edmond North will be here, and some of those others. OCS is a class 4 or 5A team. They got a great team. In fact, their number 1 singles kid was a runner-up in 4A last year.
Wow.
So, I mean, you're going to see some really good tennis if you come out and watch. So. But we got one Tuesday, and I believe April the 9th, and April the 9th, I believe, is a Thursday, and then we actually have a Saturday tournament on April 25th, which is a home match. So you got an opportunity to see some good tennis if you want to come out and watch.
Absolutely, including Langston, who you
Absolutely.
mentioned. And the interesting thing, and we could sit here and talk about team scores. Some of these teams, they have such balance. They may not have a number 1 state player, but they've got such balance that they'll win the state tournament.
Absolutely.
You're kind of the opposite. You've got the number one player there at one singles,
Right.
and you've got confidence in your one doubles. But you've got to have balance in there to win the whole thing.
Right, and that's absolutely true. I can remember back in, I want to say '04, when I had a pretty good girls team, and we did not win a state championship with anybody, but I had a runner-up group of girls because we place second in 2 division, a third, and a fifth. And it was, and in fact, if one of them would have won, we might have won the whole thing. So, but like I say, balance is going to get you somewhere.
Absolutely.
That's good depth. So,
Well, it's good to see you, and we look forward to watching your team this year. And good luck to you, Brad. Brad Larimer, our boys tennis coach on Coach's Corner.
thank you.